Hello, hello. Hi, Hustle Crew. We are live. I'm going to give us 2 minutes to get ourselves in here. You know how we're never on time. Replay viewers, thanks for joining us. And Michelle and I, we really appreciate you watching this replay. There's probably a discussion in the group, so go ahead and chit chat in the group as well when you're watching this replay. Okay, so let everybody know that we're live. And just drop a link for people to come by. Actually, you know what? The link that I gave actually works. It takes into my live page.
Oh.
So we have a couple people popping in. Thank you guys for joining. I think. Yeah, I see people joining now. There's awesome. A little bit of a delay always. So people are just now joining the live event. So we're just going to get started in a moment. We like to give people a little bit of time to join so they don't miss anything. So it's not that we're late. It's just that we're giving people time. So if you are here, just drop a hello in the chat so I can see that hello. Michelle is with me, and we're going to talk about how Michelle makes money blogging. Not you, Michelle. You don't drop a hello. Everybody else drops a hello.
I know, but I am. And do the audience members have like an icon they can click on so that they can participate in the chat?
No, they don't get to. It's on YouTube Live. They can type on the sidebar, like cool. Monica Jordan just said hello. So I can see Monica said hello. Hi, okay. Monica.
Hi, Monica.
And I can see what they're saying. You can't see it, but I can see it.
I can't see it.
No, you can't see it. You just get to see my lovely visage.
Visage.
Yes. All right, so why don't we go ahead and get started? Yes, we have people watching now. People are just coming in. They're coming in. We have to give people a second to get in, but I am excited to get started and chatting with you. Hi, Janelle. I'm probably saying your name incorrectly. Janelle Pierre. I am so excited to have you guys join me and Michelle today as we kick off our month of blogging. Now, I know you haven't received any email or any instruction on how to start your blog, but that's okay because I actually wanted you to get some motivation before you go ahead and start your blog. Joining me today is Michelle Jackson from michelleismoneyhungry.com. Plus your other blog, Square State, is it?
It is almost Square State. I just need to change some of the URL stuff. So,
okay.
Yes.
So currently it is ColoradoLoveHub.com, right?
.info. That's why we're changing it.
.info. ColoradoLoveHub.info, and that's a blog about Colorado. So she has two blogs, and I've asked Michelle to join us here today to really just give us some insights on blogging. I've known Michelle for, how long have I known you since?
2012, 13, 12
something.
At least. It's been a long time.
It's been a while. I've known Michelle for some time, and Michelle's blog has evolved over the years. And Michelle isn't your typical blogger who's just trying to get ad revenue. Michelle is the consummate hustler who looks for different ways for her blog to make her money. So somewhere in the Hustle Crew, I actually pasted an image that shows all these different ways that your blog can make money or how your blog can be central to you making money. And Michelle, I thought, was a great example of how, even if you're not making money directly on your blog, but how your blog can be a springboard for making money. So with all that said, I'm going to let Michelle introduce herself because she's already a member of the Hustle Crew. So she's not new. She's not new to you guys. But I'm going to let her introduce herself and say hello.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Jackson. As Sandy said, I run a blog, a personal finance and lifestyle blog called Michelle is Money Hungry. It also has a podcast with it, which is something that is new. So that is also a way to make money with your blog. I also have a website all about Colorado that currently is called ColoradoLoveHub.info. And that also has a podcast associated with it called Square State. I've been blogging since 2012. Again, my primary blog is about personal finance, and that's how Sandy and I know each other. And basically, a little background: my money was a mess. My mom lost her job back in the day. I had to support both of us while I was in graduate school on Starbucks money. And at the time and literally I was working at Starbucks. At the time that happened, unfortunately, these kinds of things happen when you're least prepared. So I was ill prepared with knowledge. Like, I didn't really have the knowledge to manage my finances well. I knew how to work hard and be ethical, but I didn't know about savings or using debt related tools responsibly, or none of that. All I knew was I had to survive. My mom and I were living on Starbucks money, and this was hell. So many years later, it was hell. Many years later, as things kind of calmed down and stuff, I was still dealing with the after effects of this, just a life of bad financial decisions and lack of knowledge. And I started reading personal finance blogs. And I just loved them. Like, I loved them in the way that I loved Harlequin romance novels. Okay.
Wait, are you into Harlequin novels?
I read romance novels. and this is going to be an important point later. So I'm bringing this up for a reason. So I was reading all these stories like Sandy's, like, there's a long list. Some people aren't blogging anymore. And I was just so inspired by each story. And the thing that was interesting about these personal finance stories was they weren't always clean. They didn't always end the way that you thought they would. But I was really inspired by the courage of these people to share. And at the time that I started blogging, I had absolutely no intention of monetizing it. I had no idea that you could. I vaguely had an idea that maybe it could make a little money. Like, I literally had no clue. Fast forward 5 years of blogging, no, almost 6 now. And I understand that blogs can be a business. I understand that I've watched a number of friends of both Sandy and I's become millionaires due to blogging and blogging, specifically the blogs they run or activities that were a springboard from their blog. And I kind of had, I hate to say this, but a come to Jesus moment about monetizing. People in the personal finance space are very conflicted about monetizing their blogs. Yep. And the reason why is you really want to do it in an ethical way. And if you're writing about like frugal life and debt slaying like we do, in particular, Sandy and I, it doesn't necessarily make sense that you would share like credit card information where people could sign up for credit cards with an affiliate link, and then we get paid, but maybe your reader ends up in debt. Like, it's disingenuous. So I will say that it took me a very long time to decide if I would monetize this blog, and it took a longer time to decide how I would do it. And so long story short, I ended up quitting my job. I was basically dying at my job, and I'm not being funny. Like, my tooth fell out from the stress. I gained 65 pounds. I've lost about 30 pounds of that weight, have 30 to go. I was having chronic migraines. I was crying. I was having panic attacks. And so I was working this job that was literally killing me off. If I'd kept working that job, I probably would have had a heart attack. And so with the blogging, what had happened was I learned all these ways to make money. And at the time that I decided, I was like, I'm going to quit my job. I can't do this anymore. They're going to kill me. They're going to kill me off. I'm going to be another young Black lady dead, because they don't care about how much money I can earn. They don't care about my time off. They don't care about my, once I finally marry myself off and have kids, they don't care about maternity. They don't care about none of that as much as I care about. I can
tell you, they sure don't care about maternity.
Sandy has a story. Okay.
Woo, so, I have a story, but I'm going to save that for
now, right? So my point was, I had learned all these ways to make money outside of a regular 9-to-5, and it was just me. And I was like, my choice now is, am I going to have a heart attack? And I'm not being funny. Like, when your tooth falls out, your hair falls out, you're gaining weight like that, you're having panic attacks, that the next step is probably a heart attack. Like it was a serious situation. And I was like, I know that I've lowered my expenses because I've learned all these things as a finance blogger. And I also had learned how to make money as a finance blogger. And so I was at that time able to quit my job. I went to Australia for a while, went to Hawaii. And for the last 3 years, I would say I would consider myself a self-employed person since 2015. However, in 2017, about the middle of the year, I started rebranding, changing my brand, changing how my website currently exists. And when I started doing that, it was with the idea that I need to make money, because we knew so many people making 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100,000 plus. And it wasn't, you know, a lot of
times a month.
This is a month, guys. I'm not talking a year. I'm talking a month. So let's hear this again. These people are making 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, 50, $100,000 a month. And so for me, I was like, it makes no sense as a personal finance blogger to not make money, to use that money to better my life, especially when I know how to do it. So I had to take some steps back to look at my blog and look at how I've been making money from like 2015 till now. And now I'm changing some of what I'm doing to make, and I'll let you know what my ultimate goal is. My ultimate goal is to make $100,000 a month in passive income. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying that with a straight face. It's not like some crazy stuff. Sandy and I, like I said, know several people. We knew them when they were making $0. Okay. Zero. And so I'm letting you know that within about the next year and a half to 2 years, that's the goal in terms of passive income payouts.
All right, so let's be very specific here, because the hustle crew, they're going to want to know, I need to know exactly what you're doing and how much money we could potentially making here through my blog. So I think the most obvious one is always, I can get ads on my blog, right? That's but the first thing people think about.
Well, I want to kind of roll back a little bit. So the first thing with your blog is, who are you serving, right? So Sandy and I started blogging. We were just sharing stories. Like, there was no intention to monetize. If you start a blog today, understanding that it could potentially be a business for you, you need to figure out first who you're serving. Who is your blog avatar? Who's the person you are writing these blog posts for and solving problems for? 80% of the people who land on your website will never come back again.
Right.
And so one of the things that kind of messed me up a little bit was, and this is, again, very specific to personal finance, you really know the people who, like the 20% who are reading your blog, right? And they will push back if you start to try to monetize, if it's not clear to them what's going, like they just have these ideas. And so I started recently writing more content for that 80%. Because they will account for the majority of the hits on my blog. So you need to, first of all, know who you're writing for, because that kind of shapes the kind of ways you can make money and how you serve them as readers.
So I'm writing this note for you guys in the comment section. It is know who your readers are and who you're going to be writing for. So you should take that as a note.
So an example of why this is important is mommy bloggers. So everyone's like, oh my God, there's all these mommy bloggers. Yeah, these mommy bloggers are making money. All right.
Who bucks these mommy bloggers are making? I'm thinking I need to start a mommy blog.
So earlier I mentioned Harlequin romances, right? I read a romance probably a week. Like, I just blaze through them. I have Amazon Prime, so don't, Anyway, so the funny thing that I hear from people is, wait, the thing I want to write about has so many people who writes about it. I don't think I should do it. Write your story, because you just need a teeny percentage of the a teeny percentage of English speaking people, if you're speaking English, to read your blog. If you're speaking Spanish, you need a teeny tiny percentage of Spanish speakers to read your blog. So don't in your head be like, well, I want to be a mommy blogger, or I want to blog about food, or I want to blog about photography, whatever it is you want to do, unless it's a really weird niche. And even then, that's a big opportunity.
Riches are in the niches. Remember,
yes.
Don't forget. If you niche down, that can be very lucrative.
You can niche down, or you can be broad. So there's a lot of blogs where they, like, I do personal finance and lifestyle. I've decided to keep my blog broader because I'm understanding that I'm wanting to appeal to a lot of different types of people. So the next thing is, when you're monetizing, we're going to get to all the numbers and stuff, but this is really foundational stuff. So what is your ultimate goal?
So I wrote number 2 was, don't worry about everyone else writing about the same thing.
That's right. Don't write about the thing that you enjoy, that you can keep writing about in a billion different ways over and over again for at least 2 years. At least. Sandy and I have been writing about money for years. Okay.
Since 2009 Sandy, over here.
Yeah. So longer than me. But I still find myself intrigued by money. I still think about it, and I'm still on my debt freedom journey, right? So it's still a very relevant thing, but how I am as a person has changed. So when my 20% reads my blog, I actually tell them only read on Monday, because that content is for them on Monday. Everybody else, where I'm trying to optimize them landing on my website, that's Tuesday through Sunday. So the next thing is, what's your ultimate goal? Okay. So my ultimate goal when I quit my job was to quit my job. It wasn't necessarily, so it was to make enough money so I could live when I quit my job. That was my ultimate goal. What I didn't understand was that also affected my monetization goals with my blog. So my ultimate goal now is very different, because making enough money to live is very different than saying I want to make $100,000 eventually a month. That's very different work. That's very different focus. That's a very different way of approaching the business of your blog. So I want to retire Rose.
If you're thinking about it differently from I want to make some extra money so I can pay my car note, it's completely different than I want to make enough money so I can work for myself, or that I'll be working for myself. So those goals are important. And you're trying to retire your mom.
Rose is my mom. So I was like, I want to retire Rose. I need to retire my mom, people. I need to retire my mom. And I need to do it fast. So the reason why I'm bringing up your ultimate goal is it will really change how wired into your goal and your focus and how you monetize your site. How I'm approaching stuff this year versus the last few years is very different. This is very different.
Agreed. I would say the same for me as well. Definitely how I'm approaching my business this year versus when I started in 2009, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, it's completely different. It is a completely different goal, because I've always said that I've got a little person. I've got diapers to pay for. I've got formula to pay for. And I've always said that I was going to quit my job this year. However, I now have a little person that I have to take care of. So my goals have ratcheted up more than before. So what I'm doing, like Michelle, has shifted than previously as well.
So I'm going to talk about some of the ways I've made money with my blog, some of the problems with that, and why my approach is different this year. So at the end of this live stream, I'm going to share a resource that I put on my blog. It's a blog post about 30 different ways bloggers can make money. Okay. And so some of the ways I've made money because of blogging or via directly my blog. This week, actually, I just got checks for sponsored content. So sometimes I love it. So sometimes you will get companies, and this is a company that I met at FinCon, which is a personal finance conference that Sandy and I have attended for many years. And I met a company that was there called Rate Genius. They actually do refinance, car refinance loans. And I don't have a car loan. I've paid off car. However, I understand that most people do have them, and it honestly will save them a lot of money if they refi, and they can use that saved money to pay off debt. So I felt like that was a very good like a good thing to work on. It was super easy because with sponsored content, it happens in two different ways. Either a company, you kind of work with the company, they pay you, and you can create the content, which I prefer because I like my blog to sound a certain way. It sounds like me. Or they will actually write the post, give it to you, and pay you to have it on your website.
That's me, because I am lazy as shit.
No, but you're also really busy.
Yes, I don't have time. I have a 4-month-old. He needs his mommy. I'm not writing your content, but you are going to pay me for me to publish it on my site, though. And so, I'm going to need that check up front. Thank you.
So you have two different ways to get paid for sponsored content. So I've done that. I've earned, I kind of dropped the whole, I have $70 in ThreadUp credit. And I'm going to talk about the problem with that, actually. So I earned thousands of dollars in credit, ThreadUp credit. So many companies have the give consumers or clients the opportunity to share affiliate links. Basically, it's a link that's associated with your account, and you can share it. You've seen it on everything, so you can share it with your friends and family, what have you. I did it very well accidentally with ThreadUp. ThreadUp is an online consignment shop. If you like fashion, it's a great way to get clothes. If you're into green fashion, like not buying new stuff and killing the earth. Anyway, so the thing is, I did too well at it, and I got literally thousands of dollars in credit.
See, I'm not about that life.
No. Let me tell you what happened with this, though. So I actually ended up buying all my friends' kids. I had so much credit. I ended up paying all my friends, paying for all my friends' kids' clothes for the year.
See, that's
because I had a lot of friends with babies. I got clothes for me, but here's the thing. So I no longer do anything that is affiliate, like a credit, because I want cash. The only way I will share something that is a credit towards like HelloFresh or something, I have a limit. There's only so much that I'm willing, because you have to pay taxes on those earnings.
Yes, you do.
So I got thousands of dollars of clothing credit. I live in Denver. We are not fashionable. We're not fashionable. I mean, we dress up occasionally, but on a day-to-day basis, no one's like, I wear Prada. We just don't do that. So I have nice clothes, but it was crazy. So I had to pay taxes on that. I bought my friends all their clothes. I got my clothes. So yes, I still get that affiliate credit for clothing, but I shut that down because the thing is, again, you pay taxes and you only need so much of that. So if you're looking to share, like I use a co-working space right now to work on my business because I cannot work from my house. I have a limit, so I can earn up to $600 that will cover the year, and that's it. I'll take the links out of my blog.
Okay, so for you, you kind of backed away from the credits because you were getting credits with affiliates that it didn't make sense for you with the amount of credit that you were getting. And then you had the tax consequence that you had, or why? Because my reason for not doing that might be different from yours.
Well, mine is I want to make money. I don't have time to be dealing with credit.
So
I want
that's my reason
money. So if you are trying to make cash money, then obviously the energy and focus to do credit, it's like, why bother? Just focus on stuff that'll earn you money. On affiliates specifically that can earn you money. So the good thing about that experience was I knew that I could write content in such a way to actually make money on my blog. So it was bad because it was all this stupid credit. It was good because it was still creating proof that you can make money with your blog. Okay.
I do want to say that in some spaces though, the credits that you get is probably 75 to 80% of what you can earn directly from your blog. And this happens a lot in the travel space. Like you can get free stays at hotels and all that kind of stuff, but they rarely pay money. And then I see a lot of mommy bloggers with like a ton, and the makeup people with a ton of products. So you get the, that kind of stuff.
But I think that's the problem of the bloggers, and not because it's not the niche. So here's the thing, guys. I spent like the past year really, really looking at blogs that are making a lot of money. Okay. There's a reason why I've changed what I'm doing. And we've also watched people make a lot of money. And so there are a couple of things that I've learned. One is every single niche has an opportunity to make cash money, not like makeup from Sephora and all this bullshit. If you, pardon my French, if you're like a makeup blogger, there are things that there are products on Amazon. So Amazon has an affiliate program. It does not pay a lot. However, over 60% of shopping during the holiday season in 2017 came off of Amazon. Okay. So I am actually really focusing on Amazon affiliates because people are on it every single day. If they have a Kindle, if they have Amazon Prime, if they have just a quick thing, they have the Echo in their house, they're like, I ran out of this. Please pick up this to their stupid thing in the house. So people are spending on it every single day. So actually, I'll lead into that's another way I've made money is on Amazon affiliates, and that keeps growing. I'm actually really focusing on that. One of the ways I'm doing this with my blogging is what I call content stacking. So one of the things that I noticed in really well monetized blogs is they will write a series of content and share the same product over and over again, the same product that they want to share with their readers over and over again. Then they will provide links within each post so that basically you're in IKEA of blogging. So you're reading about how to make money blogging, right? And then you'll see a related post link. Then you click on that, and then you go in another place, and then you just keep reading. During the course of doing that, you've probably, unbeknownst to you, clicked on one of their affiliate links. Maybe you signed up for something. Maybe you've interacted with it in some sort of way. With Amazon, what happens is if I share a picture of a product with my Amazon affiliate link, I always use pictures because people like pictures. They'll click on a picture. It'll take them to Amazon. Maybe they don't even spend that. Maybe they don't buy that item. But then in 24 hours, if they spend $300 on Amazon, I get a percentage of that. And what I'm noticing this year, especially as I focus on that, is Amazon converts fast. Fast.
Now, so for those of you guys watching, I'm dropping these money tips in the comment section. So go ahead and read the comment section. I also dropped the Amazon affiliate link in the comment section as well. So if you're watching it live, go check out the comments because you're going to want that. Now, specifically on the Amazon affiliates, it can be really powerful. I've actually built an entire blog around Amazon affiliates. The entire blog is about, they're just recipes, really, using a particular product. And every recipe links to Amazon for the items. And then it has a shop section, and the entire shop section it's a plugin that pulls the keyword that I typed into Amazon, and it pulls these products up and basically builds a shop for me. You click on any one of those products and you go into Amazon to buy it, and I make a tiny percentage. Built that site a number of years ago. It's on autopilot, and another way to passively make money on a blog. And it is a blog. The blog post just happened to be recipes.
And I want to say, I think something that's important to talk about when I was talking about content stacking, like writing a lot of content and in many different ways where you eventually share the same affiliate. Be aware that you're creating a lot of content in the beginning of your monetization strategy, right? So a friend of ours is Michelle Schroeder-Gardner. She runs a blog called Making Sense of Sense. And at this point, I think she's making like $150,000 a month. Okay.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about in the beginning, because she figured out the system quickly. She has a very logical brain. She deals with money. She was in finance before she did blogging. And so I think she really noticed the patterns of how people were making money very quickly. And so I will say that in her case, and this does not mean you have to do this, she was spending about 100 hours a week really creating a lot of targeted content. And for those of you who are like, what do you mean targeted content? So again, you're writing for a specific person. So I'm going to give you an example of that. In blogging, they call this an avatar. In marketing, they call this an avatar. So if you shop at Target versus Walmart, they actually have an avatar for who their shopper is. Okay. It is not an accident if you love Target. Target is looking for very specific shoppers, and so is Walmart. And in fact, I looked at the demographics, and they break it down by color too. It's not like they only like depends on the business, but I am a Target shopper. When I looked at everything, it was hilarious. It's the same thing with blogs. If you're writing for a certain person who's usually your avatar is usually an extension of you, then you're writing things that would appeal to you, basically. So I will give you an example of my avatar. Don't laugh at the name. I was almost named.
Do you name your avatar?
Mine is named. A lot of people do that, actually. So my name was almost Sunshine, really. So I was almost like my nickname would have been Sunny Jackson.
Hippie could that be?
So my avatar's name is Summer. That was the other name I almost had. So anyway, her name is Summer. She's an older millennial Gen Xer. So she's like 29, 31 to 47. That's like the range. She makes like 47 to 65,000. That's the range. She likes hiking, yoga, travel. She would like to get married or is currently married. She wants 1 or 2 kids, no more. She probably does not have pets. She eats healthy. Like, it's very specific. And so the reason why it's so specific is if Summer is my avatar and I've just described all that to you, is she going to be wanting to eat Hamburger Helper? No. Right? So I'm going to be adding food posts to my site soon because I actually love food. And actually, that's a big thing. Food converts in terms of page views. And I'm going to tell you how I learned this the hard way. So on my site, I'm going to be sharing like how to cook healthy meals for less as a frugal foodie, because I'm a foodie. So again, it's thinking about what would my readers want to eat and read about and discover. So I was in a mastermind group. So if you guys are like, I don't know what that is, let Sandy know. But if you know, then no worries. I was in a mastermind group. I'm still in this group. And 3 of the ladies have already retired their husbands, okay, from blogging. They have husbands who were engineers, and they retired them. They were making so much money. And one of them in particular, her name is Rosemary Groner. She's very, very well known in the blogging world. And she said to me a couple years ago, she's like, Michelle, if your reader, she said, my readers are moms, because she's a mommy blogger. She's like, my readers are moms. They're busy. They don't care about all the health stuff that you do. And so I write accordingly. So she was very clear. She in a mastermind group, they tell you everything, but sometimes you don't hear what people are saying. So what she was saying in plain English was, Michelle, your avatar is a health food person who likes to travel. So those are the kinds of posts you probably should write. Like literally that's all she was saying, but I didn't hear that. And so what happens is several years later, when she's now retired her husband and makes over 100,000 a month, I heard what she was saying. So I'm saying to you guys, be very clear about who you're writing for, because as you write blog posts that answer their questions, it will be easier for you to monetize your site and easier for people to find you. So that would be the other problem that I don't know if Sandy had this problem. I have this problem. When I started blogging, I was very woo-woo. So I would be like, this is how I feel, and this is my emotion, which is good. I do that on Monday. But the problem is a woo-woo blog like that does not make money. It just doesn't.
It doesn't.
It just doesn't.
Unless it's a woo-woo blog overall, and it's
no, Sandy.
I mean, no, because some people really connect to those little woo-woo things, but when it comes to when it comes to the way that you or I might monetize, it might not convert so well, but it might convert another way. Let's get back to the money. Raspberry, a mastermind group is just a collective of a few people that you have put together who basically discuss and help all of you kind of level up. And you're very clear and candid on what it is that you're doing. The best mastermind groups, you guys are all on the same level, or you have a mixture of people who are on higher levels and lower levels, so they can kind of pull you up and you can learn.
And other people who were in that group with me include Talat and Ty McNeely. So I'm just saying, like, I have some amazing people that spent a lot of time with me and wanted me to be a success. And sometimes you hear things at a different moment. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you're not ready to receive the information. And I want to talk about mastermind groups and money.
So wait, Diane's asking a little bit on Avatar. How do you zone into your avatar and not woo-woo?
So I'm still woo-woo. So that's a really good question. Sandy knows
woo-woo.
I'm still woo-woo.
Yes. I'm definitely not woo-woo because I have learned. And let me tell you how I zoned into my avatar. And that sometimes that can actually change. For many, many years, I blogged anonymously. There was no photo of me anywhere, nothing for many, many years. About 3 years ago, I decided to put my photo on my blog. And I saw my demographic completely shift. So most
of my bunch of white dudes reading it before?
I did. My readers were mostly white men. Okay. High income white men were my readers previously. Now my readers are middle income women, typically late millennial Gen Xer, kind of like Michelle. Why? Because they see themselves in me. Because my photo is on my site now. They see me, they gravitate to me. So my demographic has shifted. And how can you tell? You have different tools that you can install on your blog for analytics and to tell, who's coming to your blog. However, you can just decide to focus on a particular group of people specifically. So for those of you guys who are in the Dream Builders and Dream Catchers with Tiffany Aliche, Tiffany has a very clear avatar. It is Black, female, usually middle class, typically in the same demographic, millennial to 50s, and looking for financial assistance. Now, if other people join her groups and they're not fitting within that demographic, it's fine, but that's not who she's targeting. Who she's targeting is this core group. So she's figured out who she wanted to target, and that's what she's built her products and services around. So that's how you can kind of get into your avatar. Masterminds can cost money, or they cannot. The masterminds that I'm a part of don't cost money.
I'm not paying.
Yeah, Michelle and I are on a different. I have a mastermind group, and Tiffany's in that mastermind group. A bunch of people you guys would know are in that mastermind group. I don't charge a penny. They would riot if I tried to charge. Can you imagine?
Yeah, they would. So Sandy and I are actually in 2 different mastermind groups together, and we meet every week. So the one that Sandy runs it's like we hear from each other every day. Yep. The one that the smaller group that we're in meets every Monday. And one of the things I'll say about making money blogging and mastermind groups, this is a big one. So last year, ever since I've been in a mastermind group, they've pushed we've pushed each other as a collective to do things that further our careers, which also affects our money. So we've done things like submitted panels to talk at different conferences. So we've literally submitted a panel. We were able to get conferences free. So sometimes you can earn money by getting gifts in kind, which was where ThreadUp kind of fell under that's gifts in kind because it's not cash. Yeah. But with the speaking gigs, that can convert into cash because people see you as an expert. So let's
talk about the money. Let's go back to the money because you were going down the list and I completely distracted you. How you've been making money because you're about to lead.
But we made money with that, so I want to go into that.
Yeah, definitely go ahead.
So I'm like, Sandy, I'm sorry. Rationale.
These people here want to know.
No, but I'm about to tell you.
Coins. So
so last year we did an online summit And it was the worst timing ever for us to do this. So what we did was we worked all through the holiday season. So we should have known better already. And then we got all these experts together and we ran an online summit. Now, typically those can convert very, very well. But I think timing was a big issue in not knowing what we were doing. But it actually was a really good summit. It was just, I think, timing. So we made money with that. We all made several $1,000s. Did we make several $1,000s each? But we made money. Anyway, we all got cash money at the end of this. So you could do an online summit with people that you know, and then people sign up in order to participate, or they participate for free. And then you have a payout at the end. So that was one of the ways I've made money in the past year.
Talk about specifically how that summit made money.
So what we did with that summit was we had products for sale. So we basically, it's been a year, we got you on our email list, which we still have. We still use this email list. And we had different product packages for watching the videos, like reviewing what do you call it? Rewatch, or no. What do you call it when you rewatch the video? I can't
replay.
Anyway, replay. There we go. So so I still have a headache. Sorry, everyone. We have a snow front finally in Denver, but that means I have a headache because that happens anyway. So people would pay to actually purchase that replay and have access to that content. So it was a lot of work. And actually, I think if we did it this year, we'd make a lot of money.
I think so too.
Those kinds of online summits they've been known to make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 if they're really well done. I think it was really well done. It's just that it was our first time trying it. But basically we charged them to watch the replays and we got them on our email list. And that was huge. As a learning experience, also as a way to collaborate with people. So one of the things I focus on is networking with people, because the bigger your network, the more likely you'll be able to find out about opportunities to make money. So that kind of goes from mastermind to another way that I've made money is utilizing my network. So I have been able to tell people about projects that I want to do, ideas. People have given me feedback about, yeah, that's going to work. No, that's not. Currently, I'm in the process of waiting to find out if I'm going to make money doing, basically, I wanted to create events. So before I quit my old job, I used to do like 85 events a year. 85 is too many, but I love doing events. And so I was like, how can I reintroduce that into my revenue stream and do it in such a way where I make money, I enjoy it, and I serve people here in Denver. And so I was like, okay, there's two ways I can do this. One for my personal finance community, the other for Colorado people. So I have two very different types of events that I'm going to be producing throughout the year here. So it's a new thing I'm trying out. I'll be getting sponsors to do that. And that's a result of my old expertise, but just being bold as a blogger and saying, this is what I care about. This is how I want to serve our community. This is the event that I envision, and reaching out to sponsors. It's easier, I think, to do it here than in a big city like New York, because there's a lot of gatekeepers.
So I heard the word sponsors. So let's talk about how you can make money with sponsors.
So right now I'm in the middle of waiting to hear from a big financial company. Think an investment firm, basically. Girl, get done with that.
I am so thirsty. I'm so thirsty, and it's frozen solid. And I'm like, Sonic, why is my thing frozen solid?
So distracting and funny. Anyway,
it's frozen. Like, why is it frozen? Why is it frozen?
We're a mess. So anyway, I decided to make these events, right? But events cost money. I'm not paying that money, and my time costs money. So what you do is you create a budget, and you're like, this is my budget for the event. And then you start pitching sponsors. What that means is you have to actually be bold and ask for money from strangers to buy into a concept that they may or may not understand. So it's not for the faint of heart.
It can be very lucrative, though.
Yes. And actually, Sandy, I don't know if that was in our closed Facebook group. The conversation with no, that was with Tiffany's. Remember Tiffany's guest who told us about how she produces?
Yes.
Okay, so so I'll vaguely touch on that. So we connected with someone who talked about how they produce 6-figure events now, but they started making with their first event, and their goal was to get a sponsor to at least pay $3,000, which would pay them and cover the cost of the event, depending on what type of event it is. So an example of what I'm trying to do for the Colorado stuff is I'm really focused, and there could be lots of people who do this. There's no one doing this, so it's like whatever. I am focused on getting people to spend locally, and that's a very popular concept in this town. And we have all these people moving here. So I wanted to do welcome events for new arrivals and people who currently live here, where we can have like a dialogue and talk about what it's like living here, some of the things that concern people who've been living here for a while, some of the things that maybe new arrivals are concerned about, and also introduce them to local goods, products, and services so that it's like a helpful thing to these new arrivals, fun, cocktails, just like a fun event. And I know that it will be very received really well, because I've seen not this event, but I've seen people pitch to these different companies locally and do very well in terms of getting products in kind and cash, which is what I would be doing for an event like that. So when you're creating an event, you do want to build in the amount you want to be paid. So you don't want to be like, well, I'm nervous to pitch, so I'm just going to ask for like $2,000 and pay for the rest. You don't want to be doing that because your time is money.
We're speaking of time. We're about 15 minutes in.
Oh,
we kind of glossed over affiliates, which is huge. And I don't want to skim over that, because that can be incredibly lucrative.
Okay.
Can we talk a little bit about affiliates and what they are, separate from the Amazon stuff, just, the general affiliates, and how people can make money with affiliates, because that can make so much money. We know people making $1 million and more as affiliates per year.
So, and I'll just wrap up the event thing quickly, which is, that is, again, another stream of income. So, just food for thought, like that's something to do. And we should talk about freelance writing as well. So, affiliates, I love affiliates, love. And the reason why is, an affiliate is basically similar to what we were talking about at the top of the hour. You get a link to a product that you love that you can share with people. The difference is we are talking about cash, like affiliates that pay cash. So right now I have several affiliates that I focus on. The range in payouts per interaction is between $5 and $1,300. So I wanted to make a point about this. Some affiliates pay $5, but what if you get like a blog post that goes viral, like all these people are reading this blog post, and it's a $5 affiliate that everyone's excited about. If 1,000 people sign up for your $5 affiliate, isn't that still a really good payout?
Absolutely.
So when I was talking about content stacking, again, that's something you would do with an affiliate. You would sit there and be like, I love, here's an example. I love Ibotta. So Ibotta is a savings app that is developed here in Denver. I actually know the CEO. I've met him several times. And I love the company. I've been to the company. I've tested the product. Like, they've paid me to test it there, and I've used it. So I'm sold on this product. As bloggers, what you would do is you would geek out about this, whatever product that pays you cash, and you would share it subtly in different posts throughout your blog. And with Ibotta, the cool thing is, and you can tell by how I'm talking about it that I'm an affiliate, that I actually really love it, right? So the cool thing is, it's a win-win scenario. So for every person who signs up on my link, they get $10 when they redeem their first savings. I get $5. It's a win-win. So when I'm looking at affiliates, especially as a personal finance blogger, they have to be very ethical, and they have to make my readers win. Likewise, there are a lot of people making money with affiliates related to the tools of blogging. So, for example, every single blogger, regardless of the type of blog you're doing, they use the same tools. They use a website provider. They use a URL. They need a URL. They need email, a service provider. They need just different tools to communicate. Like I use Zoom weekly. There's just certain things that every single blogger basically uses. So those are all things that you could be sharing with people and getting them to use if they decide to become bloggers. I have an affiliate that pays $1,300 if it converts per one person. So that one's a little unusual. That's for my Colorado blog. So it is to help people get a job. It's a job site, and it's for people who are in the tech industry. So they have money. The thing is, and we didn't talk about this, you do need a certain number of interactions per affiliate link in order for them to convert. So something like that affiliate where it's $1,300 to get the payout, I think I probably need 100 people to sign up in order to get that one $1,300 payout. But if my blog is getting thousands of page views a year, which is the thing that I'm working on now, is really boosting the page views and utilizing blog posts that answer people's questions. Because what do people do every day? They go to Google, they go to Pinterest, and they go to YouTube, those three in particular, and they type in how to do this, how to do that. So when you're thinking about writing your blogs, think about the fact that that's how people find your content, right? And so when you're creating a cohesive affiliate strategy, if it's how to save with savings apps, I would use iBot as an example and seamlessly add that into a post. If it's how to find a job in tech, I use that affiliate app for my Colorado website. If it's how to find a job in Denver, I use that link so that it serves people, because it helps them get in front of a service that gets them to find a job.
So
right,
I want to give an example for the Hustle Crew. So this month, for example, we're doing blogging as a theme. You have not gotten any instructions yet on how to start a blog. I actually pasted a link in the comment section, a Bluehost link. That's an example of an affiliate link. You probably hear my baby crying in the background.
Your baby's awake.
He's awake. So targeted content, as Michelle as Michelle mentioned, would be, for example, this month of blogging. And at some point, you will probably get an email from me that says, here are all the different places that you can go to start a website, Wix and all these other places. And chances are some of them will be affiliate links. I have to disclose to you that they're affiliate links. And I will say to you, if you'd like to continue supporting the Hustle Crew and you're starting your blog, consider using one of my affiliate links to, sign up for your website. So that's another example of targeted content. So in this month, as we're going through blogging, you will get some affiliate links tossed at you because, that is another way that people can make money with affiliate links. So as we're coming down on the hour, Michelle, let's not forget about
freelance writing.
Freelance writing. It is humongous and can be super lucrative, especially if you use your blog as basically your portfolio. So talk for a second about freelance writing, and then I want to talk about your networking thing, and then we've got some questions that we've got to answer.
So Sandy knows this about me. I love to write. I really do. I hate freelance writing as a business model. And in fact, part of what I'm doing this year is really focusing, because I only like I just want passive income. I've just become very clear about that. The thing is, freelance writing is so lucrative because there are websites everywhere. Every business has a website. There's an endless need to create content. And so I've made thousands of dollars freelance writing. I have. I'll admit it. I've made a lot of money doing it. Our friend Holly Johnson makes I think this year she'll probably make $300,000 freelance. She's a machine, though. We love her. She's a machine. But the thing you have to understand about Holly is she used to work in a mortuary up until 3 years ago? And then she was like, wait a minute, I don't have to deal with dead people. I could just write a blog post for $100 and do that in like 30 minutes, do an edit, and we're done. And so this is why freelance writing is so lucrative. Every business has a website, period. It's just, it is what it is. Business people don't have time to be updating those websites. Okay. It doesn't matter what niche you're in because they probably have a website and they have a person who's just like, I don't have time for this. So you can provide that writing service for them. I also make money with my podcast. So recently I started pitching that to financial companies. I'm like, well, because I don't want to do as much freelance writing. I just don't. But I love talking, and podcasting is a thing I enjoy. And so now I just got paid almost $300 to talk to my friend about something I would have talked to her about anyway, because we do anyway. And it was, for 45 minutes of work.
That's great. So we got some questions before we talk about the how networking can help.
Okay.
How long had you been blogging before you began to earn money?
So in my case, and we said this kind of at the beginning of the live stream, I had no intention of making money. So I never really tried to make money. I made little amounts in the beginning, but it was like pathetic, like $3, but it's still money, right? I would say I've been making, I just lost Sandy. I've been making money in earnest really for the past 4 years. So I was saying the past 4 years. Yeah.
So for me, the first couple of years, I started January 1st, 2009. The first couple of years, I never even thought about the blog as something that I could use to make money. It wasn't until about 2 years into blogging, I actually got an offer to buy my blog outright. And I was like, wait a minute, why would you want to buy my blog? And I thought about it and I was like, I can make like a couple $1,000 selling my blog.
And you were hustling and trying to pay off that debt. So
listen, I started with $122,000 in debt. So that money would have come in handy. But then you know what I thought? I thought if it's worth it for somebody to try to buy my blog outright, can I not make money on my blog? And then I struggled for another year and a half or so with kind of like Michelle mentioned, because I was speaking to people who were like me, heavily in debt, et cetera, et cetera. I struggled with really how to monetize my blog. And so what I ended up doing was I started taking ads. So for me, I'd say about 3.5 years in, only because for the first 2 years, I just didn't know that I could make money on my blog. And then for the next year and a half, I really struggled with whether or not I should. And there was a time I was making a couple $1,000s a month on ads and sponsored content on my blog. And then I started feeling guilty. And then I stopped taking ads on my blog altogether, like nothing. So it was a couple of years for me. Michelle was about 4 years. So yeah. Here's another question. As far as avatars are concerned, should I design my avatar on Bluehost, WordPress? Seen something about an avatar there. So there are two different things here that we're talking about. There's that little icon that represents you all over the website, the internet.
Yeah.
That's one kind. That's not the kind we're talking about. If you took my 30 for 30 challenge, small business challenge, there's a day there when I talk about your marketing avatar. There's one day in the 30 days that I talk about that. What we're talking about is who your ideal reader / client is. That's your avatar that we're talking about. So just as Michelle mentioned, Target has an idea of who their ideal customer is. It's that woman who's going to come in and pick up some household items, and she's also going to browse this clothing section
and drop it in.
And they're going to make sure that the clothes matches what she would be interested in. Right. And it's not going to be designed for her grandmother. It's going to be designed for her, because Target has an idea in their head of who their ideal customer is. So everything is designed from the beginning for you to have the experience. They put the Starbucks in there because their ideal customer might just like Starbucks.
And
right?
wine.
Exactly. Whereas the ideal customer in Walmart might like Little Caesars instead of Starbucks. So the companies do this on purpose because they have an ideal picture of who it is that they want to walk through their door. So that's the kind of avatar that we're talking about. Okay. Adila asks, what is a good length word count for a blog post? I've got some ideas on that one.
So I will say, and it's also because I'm just much better at writing. Well, there's a couple of different ways to answer this. I write longer blog posts because I think that they're much more helpful. And I just think they're helpful. Like I write fast now. It doesn't take me long to do it. There's opportunities to share affiliates in that. Like, it's just a much more helpful thing. There's a lot of conversation about blog post length in terms of being found by Google and search engines. So Google, YouTube, and Pinterest in particular, Bing, Safari, those are all search engines. Wait, is Safari? Yeah.
Safari's a browser, ma'am.
No, it's a browser. But I'm like, oh, Instagram, actually. So all these things are, Instagram's a search engine.
It is.
Because you can, yeah. So these are ways that people find your content, right? With blog posts, they're saying that long form posts are better than short. But for me, it's just better to explain stuff. Like, sometimes you just need a little more time to do it.
Yeah, whatever gets to the end, right? So I've got different thoughts because I've been writing for so long. I flipping hate it.
She hates it. I like writing.
I hate it now.
I just hate freelance writing.
Because I was writing at work as well. I wrote a global policy manual. You know, those things that you guys as employees never read. Yeah. So after that, I was over it. I was like, I don't want to write nothing. So there are the thoughts that you need to have some pillar posts, PILLAR. They're the foundation of what holds up your blog. And those are your longer blog posts. They're probably at least 1,000 words or more, usually probably a couple thousand words. And they're these long form, in-depth blog posts. I would say for me, my typical post is probably around 500 words. I don't think I could get away with anything less than that because it would just be so short.
It would be too short.
Yeah. If you were back in college and remember you were counting every single word so you could make it to the end. Yeah. There's nobody looking over your shoulder that says you have to have X amount of words. It's all up to you, whatever it takes for you to get your point across. Right. I will say some of my most popular posts are short as hell. And the most popular post on my site probably has less than 500 words for sure. And it's been the most popular post for probably about 6 or 7 years. So no, who can say, you know?
And again, that goes to how it was optimized in my view. Like, what is the question that blog post is answering?
And that's it. It's answering a question and then filling a need. And that's why. So,
you know, I keep going back to this. I mentioned that my blog for many years was very woo. It was all over the place. You can't make money with a blog like that. This year, I'm spending a lot of time writing new content, and I have different what's called a vertical, different content verticals within the blog. So I'll be candid and say I have a huge vertical all about blogging, like about the different components to blogging, things like that I've noticed people looking for in blogs, in searches online. And I just share my take on that topic. So I have literally 60 posts planned out for that blogging vertical. I have posts planned out for food, one, because I love food, but two, because food actually is really good for searches to find your blog. It converts very well.
It does.
And I actually am a flexitarian. Sometimes I eat meat, but I eat kind of veganish. I'm lactose intolerant. That's the only reason why I like meat. But anyway, vegans are growing at a high rate. So there's not a lot of content about that without, like, it's all the weird woo-woo stuff. But now I'm like, how can real people be vegans without all the extra crap? So I'm going to be writing posts about that. All of you in this group could write posts about the same thing, and we would and it would convert for all of us.
Yeah.
So don't feel like
completely different for all of us.
Exactly. So I'm being very, very, and in fact, I should mention in that blog vertical, half of those posts I'm sharing a certain program, a course that I took called Elite Blog Academy, and right now that's $867, I think, for the course. It's about to go on sale.
Can we stick a pin? $867 to be taught how to blog and monetize your blog. You guys are getting this for what? Free 99.
Free 99. And actually, I've made money creating free e-guides on my Colorado site. So people, like, I don't do a lot of work on that site. I will get payment notifications that people have bought something that I created in Word and saved as a paid PDF. And it just exists out in the ether. There are so many ways to make money you just don't even understand. And I will say, for that 30 blog series about blogging, that program that I talked about, that course, I took that course when it first came out. It was like $300 maybe. I have made so much money on that course as an affiliate. It's helped me with my blogging. Are you okay? It's helped me with my blogging, and it's made me money. And so any courses that you might be interested in taking, the big thing I would say is make sure that you have the opportunity to be an affiliate for the course so that you can make your money back. I do not pay for anything anymore if I don't have to, or if I pay for it, I want to make my money back because I'm so excited about the product.
So we've got some more questions. Lauren said, I started a blog on Blogger via Google about overcoming disabilities. I've been having a hard time trying to monetize my blog. Am I using the wrong blog platform? Yes. Yes, you are.
Yes.
I'll tell you why. That is on Google's platform. You need your own space on the web. It is so cheap to get started with your own space on the web. If your blog is blah, 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 blah.wordpress.com or whatever.org, no. If it's blah, 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 blah.blogger.com, no. Those are hosted by somebody else. You need your own spot on the web that you could do whatever you want, including monetizing with it. When, depending on how you're monetizing exactly, but if you're going through third parties to monetize, it can be very, very, very difficult to monetize on one of those blogs because those platforms, because they tend to be hobby bloggers, right? Yeah. It's here are my two kids and here's a photo and grandma and grandpa are the only two people reading the blog. You want your blog to be more professional, so you don't want it on one of those platforms. So Nakia asked,
the good thing is you practice. Like the good thing is I started on Blogger for free, and then our friend
I did too. Eric, think I can't even remember anymore.
So it's fine if that's where you started, but if you have the idea that you want to monetize, you're going to have to switch. And our friend Eric from Personal Profitability, he's from Denver, and at the time he was still living here, and I just walked to his house because we lived really close to each other. And on Christmas Eve, because he's Jewish, he changed my site for me so it was on WordPress. So I was lucky because that was free. But
we'll be hearing from him as well later this month because we're gonna be talking about blog to podcast with Eric later this month.
And so I have a podcast too.
Yes. So if you start on a Blogger or a blah, 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 .wordpress, whatever, you can shift it very easily. You can convert it onto your own space. We'll talk about that sometime during the month.
Awesome.
What's the best platform to use?
WordPress.
So, WordPress is the market leader for a reason. You can do Squarespace, you can do Wix, you can do all this other site.
I hate Squarespace. Ugh.
Listen,
sorry, sister, just hate it.
You're in the choir. WordPress is the market leader for a reason. Even huge blogs that you wouldn't think about runs on WordPress. If you've ever gone to thisis50.com, 50 Cent's blog, his website, it's run on WordPress. So, huge sites are run on WordPress. Perez Hilton, his sites run on WordPress. There are a ton of sites that are run on that. That's what we think of as the best platform.
Yeah.
Would a lifestyle blog be better? Cooking, fashion, health, etc. It's whatever you want to talk about, I think.
Exactly. You just need to be interested enough in it that you could create content, at least, in my opinion, at least for a year. And so I decided, instead of only being personal finance, I've always been personal finance and lifestyle. Because I just can't, as much as I love thinking about money, sometimes I need a break and I need to do self-care. So then I write self-care posts. And honestly, when I look at Pinterest in particular, which we don't have enough time to even talk about that.
We're going to talk about tools with, we'll talk about tools with Letitia tomorrow, nice. I think, in fact.
You guys show up for Letitia because she's awesome. Yes.
snatch your life together with Letitia.
Yes.
Oh, and actually, I think we talked about it with Taylor Kathleen towards the end of the month, specifically Pinterest. Okay, so yeah, talk about what you want to talk about. Don't pick one because you think that's what's going to make you money. Is it realistic expectation or goal for blog to be profitable in 6 months or less? What do you think?
I think it is, but I think that you have to understand that the work that goes into it, and you have to be, and this is again one of the things that's changed for both of us this in the last year in particular. You have to be really intentional about the result you want to get.
Yes.
Right. At the end of this, in the Hustle Crew, I'm going to share a couple of links to different content. I shared some things earlier this week, but I'm going to share a video with Michelle Schroeder Gardner talking about how much she was working on her goal. I'm also going to share all the ways that you can monetize. The thing that I think kind of trips people up is there's so many ways you can make money, right? Yeah. That you almost, it's like there's too many choices. So what I would say is if you are wanting to do it within 6 months, one, be clear about why you want to do it. What's your goal? I want to retire my mother. I'm done. She needs to stop working. She makes me crazy. And I want a lot of money. So it's very clear what why I'm focusing the way that I am. Two, you need to have that you need to have the structure of your blog together. Like you need to understand who you're writing for, what the goal, like what problems you're solving, all that kind of thing. And then you need to have I would say 3 to 5 affiliates that every time you write, you're just always talking about them over and over and over and again. So if you look at Michelle's blog, Making Sense of Sense, she mentions how to start a blog. In fact, this is a thing for everyone in general who, especially if they've really monetized their sites well, they mention that one product over and over again, similar to shopping for clothing or whatever. Do you know why we see so many commercials on TV for certain things? It's because you need 7 to 10 contact situations in order to be compelled to buy or
buy it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's funny because on my blog, when you go to my blog, if you go to any of my posts, it's, hey, have you taken my free Amazon webinar? Mm-hmm. It's on every single post. By the way, I know we mentioned ebooks and stuff, but products, building your own products and your own classes is another way to make money. So is 6 months realistic? We say yes. However, you have to be so intense on what it is that you're doing. And you have to have a good number of posts and decent posts and a bunch of those pillar posts that I mentioned on your site. You can't just throw fluff up there and think somebody's going to pay you for it necessarily. Or you can, but you're going to get these, I had to correct myself. I was like, you're about to get these really horrible deals and things. You have to be very purposeful and very intense to make money in 6 months. Mm-hmm. Okay, what's our opinion on paying others to write some of your content? I'm burnt out. I pay people to write on my site. I don't care. As long as their tone and their voice and their content fits what I need it to do, go right ahead. I pay people to write on my site. But then think about it. I've got 9 years of blogging under my belt. I've written a million articles. I think I've also deleted a bunch of articles as well. I think on my site right now, I probably have 700 articles live on my site. So at this point, for me, it was good for me to bring another voice or two onto my site. So I pay people to write on my site. You can do the same thing as well. If you are, if your blog is built around you, though, that's going to be very difficult. If your blog is built around the content, then it's easier to get a bunch of different people to write the content. So that's my opinion. I have no problem with it. I do it. Yeah. And as a blogger, it's another way for you to make money writing content for somebody else. What do you think, Michelle?
I prefer sponsored posts if people are going to end up on my blog. Mm-hmm. But this year, I'm creating a lot of content, but next year, I would be happy to have guest posts from people that I know, like, and trust, who will provide the same quality. So next year, and that will help create continued conversation and market the site. So there's a point where, like, you know, Sandy's burnt out. She's done, right?
Done.
So a really good opportunity where I don't have to pay you is to be like, hey, I get such and such pay. No, just, hey, reaching out to friends because of your network. So maybe I would reach out to not to Sandy because she's not going to do it, but maybe I'm going to reach out to like Michelle Schroeder and be like, she's probably not going to do it either. But people who are making
counting her coin. Michelle's
she's not even counting. She's like in an RV somewhere. She's all boo, boo, boo. Someone who still wants to guest post. Someone out there.
Yes.
And ask them to do that. Yeah, someone's still fresh with stars in their eyes.
Which, by the way, that's depending on you will get approached by other people to guest post on your site. Once you get to a certain level, I get them all day, every day. And my delete button is on lock because I decline 99.999% of those people unless they're paying me to post on my site. I'm just no. Do advertisers approach you or do you invite them? For me, 9 times out of 10, they approach me because I'm lazy. Occasionally if I'm pitching something, it's because I'm pitching something huge. I want you to sponsor something. For example, Michelle is a local leader for the group that we're both in FinCon in Colorado. I'm the local leader in New York City. If I want them to sponsor us to be in person and for them to pay to buy out a bar for 2 or 3 hours, then I'm pitching, hey, I need you guys to fork up this money in New York City because we want to get together for 3 hours at this bar. Then I'm pitching that. And that tends to be what I end up pitching. But 90% of the time, they're approaching me at this point. But except for affiliates, there are affiliate networks that you can sign up for and get those links really easily or apply to it. What about you, Michelle?
It's a mix. Since I'm doing the events, I'm approaching them.
Yeah. Events are different. You're going to have to pitch for events.
But I get a lot of, like, I've gotten, like, recently I got paid, you know, it was a sponsored post kind of situation. I'm not excited about a lot of ads and stuff on my site unless it's through an network that pays me. Yeah. So I'm very careful with ads on my blog posts. I think they're a little ugly. And that's, and actually there's a thing called like ad fade or something. Basically people are not seeing the ads anymore. They're just so used to it. They're ignoring them.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the ones where they gloss over them. They don't even see the ads anymore.
They're not seeing the ads. So it's almost not worth it. To have an ad on your site.
I don't have ads on my site, actually. If you go on my site, there are no ad bars and ad blocks on my site, period. Because for me, I found, the clicks are good. You'll make some money. By the way, another way to make money is through
ads,
those
the
AdSense or those little ad blocks where they show images or videos or clickable links on your site. I don't do that on my main site. I have another site that is completely dedicated to those ad blocks. And that site makes me about $250 a month passively.
I will say that my Colorado site, I'm working a lot on behind the scenes because that site, I'm not as uncomfortable to have ads and things like that.
Girl, I would throw ads up all over the Colorado site, left, right, and center. What is wrong with you?
I'm not saying no. I'm saying that's the site that I would do it.
Oh, of course. That's the site where you should do it.
And
that's what I would. So Adela says, I'm scared to change my blog theme. I'm on WordPress. I've changed my theme so many times over the years. I've completely redesigned my site a number of different times. If you look in the Wayback Machine, you'll see my site's been through so many different versions of it. You can change it 50 million times on WordPress, which is one of the great things, and change it right back within 5 minutes.
I will say one thing about the name of your blog. So last year I rebranded, and this was a good thing, but there was some pain that came with it. So when you rebrand your blog, it's not just like changing your theme. It's like potentially changing the URL, the name of the site. So my site used to be called the Shop My Closet Project because my whole thing when I first started blogging was use what you have, love what you got, and live your best life. Like just be, kind of frugal living. No one could freaking remember the freaking name. Okay. So I had friends in England, like Maria from the Money Principle, known her for years. She's been reading my blog. She's like, oh, Michelle, how is the shop my cupboard project. I'm like, what the hell? Americans don't say cupboard, you know? So when you're thinking of your blog, be very intentional about the name of your blog. Don't think that because it feels like it's a good name that it's going to work well. So like,
it's so funny because I had somebody approach me. I had somebody approach me at a conference at FinCon 2 years ago about the name of my blog. And she said, it'll never work. She had no idea who I was. Oh. She was like, it'll never work. You need to change the name of your blog. Nobody's going to want to work with you because it's yesiamcheap.com. And she's like, that has such a negative connotation. It's a great Nobody's ever going to want to work with you. And I was like, mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. I'm sure. I was cracking up within myself because I'm like, do you know how many thousands of dollars I have made on that blog? And you're gonna the people knocking on my door in my inbox right now trying to throw money at me all the time.
And please note that with your blog, people will be repelled or attracted to you, and that's okay. Don't get hung up on that. You just need to care about the people who like what you're doing. You will get trolls, you will get angry people. But I'm not about that life. I'm about $100,000 a year, a month, not a year, a month. And so once I understand, and so when you hear about these bloggers making that money, they are not unicorns.
No,
it's a thing. Sandy and I know a lot of people making 5 to 6 figures a month with their blog. Their blogs. So there is a reason why I'm not traveling this year. Last year I traveled a lot, and it goes back to being intentional and focused. I'm not traveling. I think I'm only going to one out-of-state conference in July and one in Denver, but that's in Denver, so whatever. I'm not playing around because I know where the money is. I know what I need to do, and I need to get in front of net neutrality.
Yeah. For me, it's about replacing my income. My job pays me 6 figures, so I can't have a blog that doesn't pay me 6 figures and then some because I got to pay taxes.
Exactly.
So my blog has got to not only meet my salary, it's got to exceed it by about 40% at least. And then I've got healthcare, I've got 401k, I've got all this other stuff.
Baby.
So in my head, my blog has to triple what I make it work before I'm willing to like quit, my job. So let's roll through a bunch of other questions and then wrap up because we've had these 4 people for so long.
Sorry, guys.
Thank you guys for rolling with us. You guys have been great and asking those wonderful questions. I bought my blog through WordPress and I'm independent, but I'm just now hearing about Bluehost. What is it? And do I need it? No, you don't need it. Bluehost is just another hosting company. I'll explain what a hosting company is a little bit, probably on Monday. I've got a long blog post going on. If you've already got something, don't worry about it. Just truck on with what you've already got. I was blogging on Tumblr. I use it partly to release my psychotherapist struggles with vicarious trauma and how to help others. What's the best platform? We discussed WordPress. If it's just for yourself, though, for your own release and not for anybody else, then leave it on Tumblr.
Yeah.
If it's for other people to read, because remember what Michelle said, who's your target audience, then you may want it someplace else. But if it's just for you to get that release, leave it on Tumblr. And if you're writing it for yourself, you're writing it for yourself, and it's all good. How often do you suggest that post be made to your blog? When you're starting out, I think it's different than when you've got like 700 something blog posts under your belt. Yeah. I think people will disagree. I think when you're starting out, but when you launch your blog, you should have at least 20 blog posts, I think, ready to go when your blog goes live.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. And then I'm thinking that you need at least 2 posts a week. Probably 3 would be great, but at least 2 a week for the first couple of months so that you have a good number of posts on your site, because the last thing you want is for somebody to come on, read the one post and leave. You want them to click through, the site.
Content stacking. You want to just keep them engaged.
So that's what I think. Michelle, what do you think for somebody starting out?
I would agree with you because there's a big difference between when we started and now. Readers are a lot more, they understand what blogs are more. Mm-hmm. I think back when we first started, it was still this like weird whimsical thing, so they didn't get it. So now the new whimsical thing is podcasting, right? But for blogs, I think it just, at this point in the game, you should have several posts, like 20, 30. And it'll be easier for you if you have a lot of content that you can just roll out.
And it's not, hey, mom.
It's good stuff. But it doesn't have to be perfect writing because it takes time to become a good writer.
It does. I'm on a very tight budget, but I want a professional money-making blog, not a hobby type blog. Thank you. It doesn't take much. Actually, the Bluehost link that I shared, it's about between, depending on the sale that they have, between $2.95 and $6.95 per month. That's pretty daggone cheap. That's a Starbucks drink for most of you guys. So you can have a professional blog for very cheap. I will say my blog is yesiamcheap.com. Go and take a look at it. And I wonder if you guess how much that blog cost me per year to run. That blog is on a hosting plan that's maybe $250 a year. That is shared hosting. I have a couple of other blogs that are actually on that same hosting thing. So for my URL, I pay a $15 a year to renew my URL. And I have 5 or 6 blogs that share that $250. So it doesn't cost me much per year to run a super professional looking blog. Michelle, what do you think? What are you paying? It doesn't cost me much.
For my business monthly, yeah, it's cheap. Like, because you usually pay it up front for the 2-3 years or whatever. So I did it for 3 years last time. So I would say about the same as Sandy.
Yeah, super cheap. Don't think that you have to go out there and spend $600, $1,000, $1,500 for a blog. You don't need to. The great thing about WordPress is that you can find so many professional things for cheap or free. Okay. Where can I go to get paid to write for others? Ari, if you were on the $500 challenge, one of the days was writing for others. So
get on it.
Yeah, sometimes you have to pitch others to write for them. But, for me, people have approached me to write for them. They're paying a minimum of $100 a post. Some are paying $300, some are paying $500. You're a psychotherapist. I think you have very niche writing. It would pay more. Yeah. It would pay more for that kind of writing, a lot more. And I can't remember the resources off the top of my head. It's somewhere in there. I want to say it's in week number 3 was a $500 challenge on getting paid to write. So roll through your emails and look for that. Okay. Is there a way to set up your blog in the beginning to open the door for guest posts in the future? Yeah, of course. You set up your blog on whatever platform, and you can always have people guest posting whenever you want to.
You're the boss. It's your decision.
When I do self-care, I usually go on Groupon and find cheap deals. I promote it all the time, especially for those on a budget. How can I get paid for that blogging wise? I don't do it via blogs. I think that Groupon has an affiliate.
They have an affiliate.
They do, right? Yeah. So you can get paid as an affiliate for Groupon for sharing those kinds of things. Go to Groupon, scroll down to the bottom, and see if they have how to become an affiliate on the bottom of it. And then you can promote those things and get paid for it. Nicole says my site name is why she started following me. Yeah, man.
Wait, what was it?
My site name is why she started following me. What are good and cheap sites to create blogs for monetizing without using any third parties? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm confused.
So you can create websites on GoDaddy, on Bluehost, you can get a URL on Namecheap, HostGator. There are just a ton of them. Wix. All these different sites that are super cheap. You don't need to spend a bunch of money. Harrow, help a reporter out. That's kind of different. All right. So Michelle, I'm at the end of the questions. Tell us about how we can interact with you, what you're working on, all that good stuff. And I know you'll be in the group interacting with everybody as well. So go.
One, I want to just say thank you so much to everyone who stayed for the whole time. Again, just to kind of reiterate, I have made money and currently make money doing the following things. Freelance writing, which I hate. I like writing, hate dealing with the business end. Sponsored ads, AdSense. I do a little bit of that. Events, gifts in kind. Like the list is long. Summits, we'll probably do another one of those. I also write a blog called Michelle is Money Hungry, as well .com, as well as a podcast called Michelle is Money Hungry on iTunes. I run another podcast called Square State, is about Colorado. And I'm waiting to tell you the name of the blog because I just had to buy the URL tonight because we're going to change the URL. And so if you're interested in moving to Colorado, feel free to contact me about how our life is. I also run a closed Facebook group called the Unapologetically Money Hungry. I am very, very focused on getting people, especially actually people of color to understand the importance of networking and having access to people. I think that that is something that we've had a hard time with, feel a little intimidated by, and I want to really help people expand their networks. So I basically help people, online entrepreneurs, make more money one connection at a time. And so really working on how to network authentically, not going to those stupid networking meetings that are so stressful and dumb, and just always optimizing interactions with people. When you're side hustling, some of the best contacts I've ever made have happened when I'm doing something that has nothing to do with what you think I should be doing. Like, so you would be shocked. My neighbor's dog is barking. I want to punch it. Ugh,
it was my dog for a second there, but I was like, wait a minute, I'm on mute.
No, it's their dog, and he's crazy. I would not hurt the dog, by the way. I only like puppies. This dog is crazy. Anyway, so I think I would say 80% of the stuff that I've done, of the opportunities that I've had since I quit my job, is because of my network. You have to focus on your network. If you're a blogger, in terms of marketing what you do, just getting your blog out there, you need to know people, or else you're just going to be marketing in a silo. So people talk about SEO strategies, which is how people can find you online and search engines and stuff like that. But the fastest way to grow your blog, honestly, is for people to know who you are. So part of how Michelle, I think, grew her blog, it was because her content is answering questions. So it's not like, to me, the most like energetically bubbly posts, that you're reading, but people got kind of excited. Like they would go back to her blog and just watch what she was doing and watch her results. And so they would share. So you need to focus on networking. I have a 30-day networking challenge, network your way to more money. It's super chill. It's not, some of these challenges are really intense. This is chill. It's just kind of rethinking how you walk through the world and connect with people, and leverage those opportunities, and just how you deal with people to grow your network and the opportunities that can come from that.
Awesome sauce. I was just telling them in the chats that networking can be gold, and going to conferences within your niche can be very golden. That's where we met, and that's where I lose my voice every single year.
Every year.
And that's also where you can find advertisers. It's where you can find other writing opportunities. It's where you can get a lot of free stuff. It's where you can connect with other people, where you can write on their blogs. Lots of different things for these conferences. So don't sleep on that. I buy my ticket for the conference the year before the next conference. So I bought my conference ticket for 2018. That's all the way in September, October?
Yes.
And I bought that bad boy in October of last year. So it makes us money. We spend the money to go to the conference, but I don't leave there without like a stack of new contacts and new business opportunities. Or I'm trying to make sure that I speak, I've been seen, people know me, et cetera, and that helps to build my profile, which helps to help my blog profile go up, which helps me translate to money.
Exactly.
So I'm so glad that you all were able to join Michelle and I tonight. I know we went a little long, but we had so much to talk about and so many different ways to make money with your blog. I know that you're excited to get your blog started. We have not covered that yet on purpose because I wanted you to know what you're getting into before you dip your toe into the water. So coming up tomorrow is a video with Letitia Styles and myself. We'll be live. And Letitia is going to talk about the tools that you need for your blog. Okay. Letitia is marketing gold.
She's awesome.
Marketing and tool gold. And again, Michelle and I met Letitia at a conference. So your network can definitely affect your net worth. So do not miss tomorrow's event. It is on the calendar in the Hustle Crew. Make sure you come back and be on that event. We have an event this month. Every week there is an event with a different person with a different aspect of blogging. You will be seeing a post from me coming on Monday or Tuesday or something. I will share it within the group on how to start your blog and the very, very, very basics that you need to know. So when somebody says you need a domain, you're not looking like,
what's a domain?
What's a domain? Or, oh, you need to talk to your host company, and you're going to be like, huh? What's a host? Okay. I want you to learn the basics first and the language so that you can set yourself up for gold. I will say during this month, you will be exposed to some of my affiliate links because this group is free. But the way that you can help support the group is by, if you're starting a blog, by utilizing my affiliate links. You don't have to. I'm not going to guilt you into it, but it would be nice if you are able to support the group that way. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bobby, we're talking about FinCon. It is called. That's the name of the conference, FinCon. It is for financial bloggers. Everything is recorded. You will have replays. You can come back and watch the replays. I know that people are busy, so you will be able to watch the replays this month, and I will package them all into a nice bow for those of you guys who are confused at the end of the month, and then you guys can get the whole entire series on how to start your blog and all of these wonderful things from these experts and people who are coming to share information with us. Okay, so you won't miss a thing. Thank you, Michelle. Everybody's saying thank you for dropping the gems and all that stuff.
And just, there's so many ways to make money. You can do all of them. Just focus on a couple and then be successful at that and then go from there.
Yes. Yes, you can. There's so many things. Michelle's going to share in the group a number of different ways for you guys to make money with your blog. So look out for that in the Hustle Crew. Look out for her posts. She also has a few posts already in the Hustle Crew. Just search for Michelle on how other people are making money with their blogs. So if you missed them, go into the group and look for Michelle and look for her posts, because you already missed some gems. And I want you guys to catch all the tea on all the coin you could be making with your blog.
And in disclosure, I also have affiliate links in these things. And we didn't talk about cookies, which is, I hope Letitia talks about that tomorrow.
We mentioned cookies a little bit, but I'll put it on my list to make sure we
talk about cookies. We're not talking Girl Scouts.
We're not the Cookie Monster. These are the cookies that make you, they make you coin. Yes, they make you coin. The coin is cookies. All right, ladies, head back to the group. And gentlemen, I think we've got like 1 or 2 guys here. Head back to the group so that you can get more information. And I will see you guys live tomorrow with Letitia Stiles when we go through all the tools and tech behind getting your blog life together. Thanks for joining us, guys. Bye. Michelle, don't hang up. 1 second.